Hi PUC, and welcome to PUC Casts. I hope that your dead week is going all right and that you aren't dead. Good luck with finals next week, but we do have one last show of the quarter for you guys, and it is about the new performance policy that we have here at PUC. And I know a lot of you are probably like, the performance policy, we have a new one. I wasn't aware that we had one in the first place.
I was like that.
And I know, and so a lot of people are. So basically what we're going to do is we have people here to discuss this and present the information for you so you know what's going on. So first of all, I have Brad Kenyon, one of our resident rock stars. I have Zach Dunn, really involved in film and television, really involved in drama, improv, stuff like that. We also have Pastor Roy Ice. He is the architect and author and pretty much father of this new performance agreement. Then we have Ryan Holmes. He is representing the student body for us, and because Derek Sloan, once again, was unable to show up. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand it over to you, Pastor Ice, and just give us a little kind of rundown of why this is here and what it means for us.
First of all, I'm very excited to be able to, in this format, be able to get the word out, because I think once all the student body and most of the alumni hear about this, this is going to be something that excites the campus and helps all of the students who have graduated from PUC to see that PUC is taking a stand that currently no other college in the NAD or the world has taken to date. How this came about, actually a little over 3 weeks ago, I was sitting in my office and a situation happened where a band wanted to play, a Christian band, but they're a band that's very upbeat. In fact, some of their stuff is considered hardcore. And it came into my office, the question of, well, can we let this band play? And if we let this band play, then we also have to let this other band play. And I like that these guys are Christian, but I'm not sure about this group over here. So I guess we can't let this Christian band play on campus because the style of their music is offensive. And it's you know, unchristian. And that, to me, if any of you who know my background in the music industry, if you don't, it's a real easy Google search, you'll know that I'm very passionate about how do we use common culture to reach the world so that we're not inconsistent in our ways of saying what is acceptable and what is profane, what is spiritual, what is not spiritual. And so out of that, I became very passionate about saying we need to make sense at PUC. It's time for us to stop saying that as long as you lag 50 years behind culture, that's acceptable. And what was considered satanic in the 50s is now considered, hey, that's fun, let's do it at a banquet. And so I wanted it to make sense. And so this actually has passed through the student life and services committees. It's passed through the Dean's Council, it's passed through Ad Council, it's even passed through the board. And so this is something that has support from the highest levels of administration. And basically, the core of this performance agreement says that if you want to do music, drama, or show videos here on our campus, that, and I'll read here from the first paragraph, it says, we, the administration, acknowledge that content determines whether performances are spiritually appropriate, and that contemporary culture is not the determining factor for sacred versus profane. And then we being me and the different committees that it went through, we massaged this. There's basically 5 things that we ask of performers. We don't care if you're playing something that's very modern music or something that's folksy or Zydeco. We're just worried about the content. And so we came up with 5 things. There's literally 4 things that deal with content, 1 that deals with crowd control, that determine whether something is acceptable or not. And so I'm just really excited about this new policy. Even tonight, we have 3 bands playing in the Fireside Room. That this would not happen a month ago. They were not allowed to play a month ago. But yet, today, under the new performance agreement, this is actually the 3rd concert that we've had based on this. And in fact, one of the band members who was not, the bands that were not allowed to play, they just won 1st place at a talent show last weekend. So a lot of changes have happened just in the past couple of weeks.
All right.
Could you go over you said there were 4 or 5.
Yes.
Could you go over those real quick?
Yes, the 5 things, and I'm going to read it really quick, so those of you at home might want to rewind and catch it. Number 1, we just ask that you avoid content that promotes behavior that's inconsistent with the Christian lifestyle and standards. Number 2, avoid content that promotes sexual behavior or contains sexual innuendo. Number 3, avoid content that promotes drinking alcohol or partaking drugs and other illegal substances. And number 4, avoid content that contains profane language, offensive language, and or material or racially offensive material. And the 5th thing, the crowd control, is that performers are responsible for crowd control personnel if the performance has the potential to cause, but not limited to, the following. And basically, it's aggressive dance. We understand there's nothing sinful in people jumping up and down, but we do realize that we're liable for people's safety. And so we don't want the aggressive dance to go crazy and get out of hand and people to get hurt just because they're having fun jumping around. And so as long as the performer, and that specifically speaks to music, because I know your Shakespearean plays get out of hand, but people usually don't get aggressive. And so it's mostly dealing with some of the issues that we've really had in music. We have not made sense in musical performance up to now because it hasn't really had a consistency to it. So those are the 5 things.
Okay. One thing that did catch my attention though, honestly, and is right here, right where it first came up, and it said, avoids the content that promotes behavior that is inconsistent with the Christian lifestyle. Now with that, I know that in a lot of media today, that good media is media that, especially from my experience with in film and television, is sometimes we try to portray reality. We try to get that across, and sometimes that's going to offend some people to do that. Like such as like recently. We did it, like last year we did a film called 3 Courses, in which we had people they ordered wine. People, they ordered meat, stuff like that. So that would offend some people.
Right.
Not all people and stuff like that. What if we produced a film where somebody used, a curse word, like, F word, S word, something like that. In that area, does that automatically, because it isn't consistent with the Christian lifestyle, we're just portraying everyday people who actually may use that because it is reality. Even though in their world, it's okay with the characters to do that, is that permissible? And
I'm so glad you asked that question, because this is what the whole issue is about. We have to be real. And it's funny. People will make fun of the Amish for picking a specific date and time to say, from now on, we will not progress with culture, otherwise that's considered profane. We can no longer make fun or talk down about the Amish if we ourselves, as an organization, are going to pick a place and time and say anything beyond this is considered, a blasphemy or offensive. What you're talking about, for example, in 3 Courses, which I thought was just an incredible film, you're showing real life. You're not promoting alcohol. You're not promoting, hey, look at the party lifestyle. You're not saying everyone should eat a steak. You're showing real life.
Right.
And that's okay. Now, you brought up profanity.
Yeah.
We would ask that if you are showing that film, that just like they do on television or airplanes, that you censor out the curse word, even if it's a blank space. It's done on television. It's it's on the networks. It's done on the airplanes.
Do you mean like the